All right, Johnny Styles here with Sylvia and Daniel Fletcher, my Aussie. You know who he is already. He's like we're really good mates here. We're all mates. And we just wrapped up day number 1 here in Melbourne, Australia, where we saw Justin Compton, Kai Green, and the one and only Cedric McMillan. What were your thoughts on that first call out?
Look, I think on the first call out, I think Cedric was obviously come out and he was holding a little bit more water than Kai, but as he posed, he seemed to get drier and drier. I think he really pushed Kai again, to be honest, especially in that last 2 rounds where he come out, he was a lot drier. I thought he had a little bit more detail through the inner thigh than Kai. I think Kai was still holding a bit there. So it's going to be interesting, but I like Cedric's shape. I really think he's got that nice V-taper, the nice narrow waist, where Kai, obviously is known for his wide waist. So
right. We were sitting close to Arnold, and Arnold was having a blast watching these guys up there. Then we saw a much improved Justin Compton.
Yeah, Justin Compton, he come out and really looked good tonight. So he was...
They left him in the middle.
Yeah.
The whole time. At the end, we saw that Kai moved and then Cedric moved. But what were your thoughts on Justin?
Look, Justin obviously has improved from 2 weeks ago on his last show, and he come in a lot drier, a lot more fuller, and he's got a narrow waist too, and he really showed that tonight. So yeah, he's right in there. So it's very close between first and third. So I honestly think that the finals is going to, especially if they're judging the posing again, I think that's what it's going to come down to.
All right, let me ask Sylvia, who did you like between Cedric, Justin, and Kai?
I really prefer the look of Cedric and also Justin Compton. I think Justin Compton, he's got the best physique because of his symmetry and also great condition.
We will find out tomorrow as the judges will pick who will win the show. And then on the figure side, we have the reigning champion and still champion Latoria Watts winning the show.
Yeah. Look, obviously, Latoria's got the form on the board, but I think she was pushed pretty hard tonight, and so it's going to be interesting the next show that they do together for sure, because it was very, very close, and even in prejudging, it looked very close.
In prejudging, we saw Candice Lewis pushed her to the limit, and we even saw her in the corner, like asking for water. Remember that?
Yeah.
It was a weird moment, but at the end she got it together. What did you think about Latoria winning the show?
I love Latoria's physique. However, Latoria and Candice Lewis, they're so similar. So I thought could go anyway, either way. But of course, Latoria, her shape is just something perfect.
Well, in bikini. One more time, India Paulino wins the show again. What did you think about India?
Yeah, India. Look, she's a little bit smaller than most of the other girls. Her legs aren't as round. They're very straight up and down. To be honest with you, you could have picked any one of those top 5. They were all pretty close, I think it just depends on the judge's preference with bikini, because they're all very similar.
Right. India seems to show up, do her posing, and then wins the show. What were your thoughts on India?
She's beautiful, very little shape, beautiful face. When she's up there, she just shows she on the stage. So you can't not give it to her. She's beautiful. I love her.
Well, that's going to do it for us here in Australia before we get kicked off the stage. Tomorrow, join us again one more time, and we will be here to see who's going to win the Arnold Classic Australia. For Daniel and Sylvia, I'm Johnny Styles, RxMuscle.com.